When I see this chrome silver Delta fuel truck at the airport at Atlanta, it really makes me want Lego to make one like this, other than the Jack Stone one. So hey, it's Jabo. Welcome to TipperTruckTV. We are taking the Tipper truck to New York to see my son, and so we went to the airport. Had to wait because the plane had a problem getting fueled. That's why the fuel truck was still there. But we finally got loaded. And then I watched, trying to look for my luggage. I ended up having to check 2 bags. I don't think I ever saw my luggage. That's always a concern when you check your luggage, but the luggage did make it. So anyway, once we got everything situated, we finally were able to take off and take the Tipper truck to New York to see my son. And as I'm getting this part of the video, I just remembered, and I'm going to put some pictures up here of the Tipper truck and a brick from Skyguy, who is a channel member over on my Brigzar channel. Skyguy and his wife, they went to the Lego house and they got a picture of the signed 2x4 red brick, Brigzar signed brick. They didn't have the Tipper truck with them at that time, but they also later went to the Legoland in Germany, and they did have the Tipper truck and the signed brick. So I really appreciate them getting the photo. And I apologize. It took me only like 4 months to finally mention it, I think, in a video. Oh, I'm so terrible to my members, but thank you. I really appreciate the support over the years. And I've myself done a terrible job of taking my Tipper truck and getting some photos and pictures in different places. So I did remember to take my Tipper truck with me to New York. So we finally here are taking off from the airport in Atlanta and looking forward to arriving in New York. So it actually was a little bit cool, not too terribly cool, but we knew we were going to be getting up into some snowy, cold weather once we got up to New York. But it was a nice sunny day when we left the airport in Atlanta. Now, it's funny, I live over an hour from the airport. There was snow. I didn't film that, but there was snow at our house when I left. It was just a few flurries, but just a beautiful day in Atlanta as we took off there on our way to New York. So we were on one of those small CRJ airplanes that holds about 60 or so people. This is the same type of plane that got hit by the helicopter. Not that I was thinking of that. Also, we got the wing seat, which means we were next to the center exits of the airplane. And I don't know about you. Well, fortunately, I was on this side of the plane. When you're on the wing, what do you think of? I know what I think of. I think of the William Shatner episode of Twilight Zone and the Saturday Night Live skit, which seems awful lot like the actual Twilight Zone episode with the gremlin, which is like a overweight man in a bear suit in that episode. We did not see him on the wing, so that was good. So as we got closer to New York, you could see the clouds. It's so neat being in the sun up above the clouds, knowing that below you it's like snow and wintry and probably miserable for those people. But it's just the contrast, just being a few thousand feet. I don't know how high we are. I don't. What do planes fly at? A few. I don't know, a couple of miles. I don't know. And I did want to get a little bit of that transition from the sun above the clouds, and then as we got lower, going down into the clouds. But those pilots, they do such a good job, like no visibility. They flew in the clouds. It seemed like an eternity, we arrived very safely. Had a great flight over there. Only a couple little bumps once we got into the clouds, but a smooth flight to New York. So yeah, we flew in the clouds. Seemed like an eternity. Probably wasn't that long, but once you get below the clouds, I like kind of looking at the landscape and trying to figure out where I am. I just figured I was over New York or something. I don't know where. I couldn't tell the landmarks. I don't know. Honestly, don't know if it's the river, if it's a bay, if it's the ocean. I don't know what I'm looking at. and I think it was a river. We kind of circled around it. So the airport that we're going to be flying into here is White Plains. I think it's Westchester County Airport. The airport has like 8 terminals. I knew nothing of Westchester, but now that I've been there and landed there and watched Law and Order, now when they talk about West that county, when I see it on Law and Order, I kind of know what they're talking about now. And as safe as flying is, one thing's for sure, it is always so good to be back on the ground and out of the plane. I've not been an avid regular flyer, but I mean, it's not my first time in the air. Might have been the Tipper Truck's first time. I can't remember, but he made it safely. No damage to the Tipper Truck. Of course, I can't take the Tipper Truck to New York without stopping over in New Jersey and filming in a hotel room while my son watches the Wallows. It's his favorite band, and they are actually pretty good. It kind of reminds me when I was following REM back in the day. And so then we took a train ride to New York City.
Would have been 4, but she's really tall for her age.
We can do this. Okay. Oh, no.
Here, let's try again.
There we go.
Oh.
Oh.
Ready?
Yeah. There we go. Oh, that's a good one. Doing good. Oh. We'll continue where we left off there. Boop.
It tipped over.
That's why they call it a Tipper Truck. So while we were in New York, of course, we went to the Rockefeller Center store, Lego store, which is actually in a different location. I remember from the last time I went there, they moved it. Had to see the taxi and the Statue of Liberty there. I can't remember. I know hadn't seen the taxi before. I don't know if this is the same Statue of Liberty we've seen at the other stores, the original location. That's there. And then we also went to the store. Well, this is still in the Rockefeller Center store. I did do other stuff besides this. I mean, we did, like I showed earlier, we were at Central Park, went to a bookstore, record store, eat, and things like that. But oh yeah, this is the Flatiron District Lego store. Didn't really. This store, I don't know. It also got looted during the pandemic, and they've redone it. But again, had to get the Statue of Liberty, and especially since it's got the Duplo base. Got that.
They just did the upper part in Duplo.
No, I am not sitting there. Just straight down to the water.
The Boston Tea Party,
Yeah.
the Tipper Tea Party.
The Tipper Tea Party. Take a barge. I didn't even get the picture. Mom grabbed it so quick. That's okay. Go ahead. I got it.
So good and smoky.
It's the G. That don't even look like a train.
From the yellow line, and please watch the gap while boarding the train.
Then as fast as the trip began, it was over. We got to watch our luggage get on to another airplane that wasn't the one that we took home because we had a flight that was overbooked. And so we ended up flying home about 3 hours later. Uh, so they had too many people booked, and they said that would you be willing to take a voucher to take a later flight? And I said, what does that mean? And they said $400 per person. And I'm like, okay. And we were actually kind of tired. I think we were getting sick, and we lounged around the at White Plains Airport for about 3 hours. It went by pretty quick, and then we were able to fly home and see the Atlanta skyline in the nighttime. I don't know if I'm looking at the Atlanta skyline here. It's only the state I grew up in. Yeah, so there's Atlanta. But it was a good trip. We always enjoy the time we get to spend with my son. And yes, this video, I think it ended up being more about flying to and from New York back to Atlanta. But I'll try to do more things with the tipper truck. I'll try to be more mindful, maybe to record stuff live where I don't have to do a voiceover later. But just want to say, I love my son, Jacob. They might be bricks. I'm very proud of him. And it's really interesting to see a kid from New York. A kid from New York. Kid from Atlanta. He's now a kid from he's an adult. He's a New Yorker. What do you call those people that live in New York? And he doesn't have a southern accent. Wait a minute.